Hello, one and all, and welcome to a rather special event here in the On League Racing TV. Today, we are hosting an event between OWR Esports and the TTG Academy. It's going to be a two-race event, then one-shot qualifying and 25% race distance at the tracks of Azerbaijan and Spa. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be great then. So one of the teams racing, of course, is OWR, and to help me take us through it, it's going to be a man from the team of OWR to help guide us through tonight's races. It is Mr. OWR Rock City. How are you doing, man?
Hello, mate. Yeah, I'm doing pretty fine, I think. So pretty excited for this one. I think this is going to be really fun, and I hope for great racing, short racing, but I think that's better because then we get a lot of fighting and yeah, hopefully good racing.
Yeah, of course. This format, the one-shot qualifying, 25% race distance, has been tried and tested throughout several TTG affiliated events there, such as the Mini League and the more recent Challenger Cup that I'm currently covering right now in comms. Of course, this is, as you mentioned, going to be thoroughly action-packed and very fast-paced, starting off with the one-shot qualifying, of course, that we're just going to run through to start off with. So, we're going to get into this there. One-shot qualifying, 25% race distance. Let's get into it then. TTG Academy versus OWR. Let's get started. Azerbaijan first off with one-shot qualifying. Let's do this.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Oof, I'm looking forward to it.
Alright then, so let's get this started. Of course, one-shot qualifying, I'm just going to pick what the game will just randomly select one driver I suspect that we can just go ahead with and track throughout this lap of Baku. It is an incredibly technical circuit, definitely one of the hardest on the entire F1 calendar, and one that often breeds chaotic racing. I do not hope that we have incident, of course, but as Baku, that could well be the very nature of it.
Of course.
I have seen many an incident in Baku races. Let's hope that's not the case here tonight, but let's get this started with the one-shot qualifying, bright and sunny here in the city of Baku, Azerbaijan, and we can get this going soon enough then for a track where overtaking isn't actually that difficult. It is a straight circuit, but that very, very long front straight really offers a lot of opportunity to overtake then and make those moves stick down, especially when DRS kicks in throughout the lap. So we'll see how that all unfolds, but let's get this started then. We're just waiting for a couple of the other drivers to ready up and we can get started. Here we go then. We're going to watch TTG Florian then, who comes through over the line then. We'll see if this all unfolds. We're underway now, and we're going to take you through a lap here the Baku City Circuit. Into turn 1 comes Florian there, takes it very nicely there, clip the apex on the inside, run it out on the exit then, now towards turn 2, 90-degree corners to start that lap. Second gear, run it out, get as good an exit as you possibly can, and power down now towards the third corner on the lap there as he heads for the first sector. At the moment, TTG Bashiro leads the time. She's ahead of two OWR drivers there. Upward actually goes to the top there, so it's very, very close down there. Now, at a turn 4 then, the right-hander glides it out and back out onto the exit. Heading for turn 5 and 6 then. First the left and then the right. Don't take too much curve, but unsettle the car. Get on the exit. Yet again then, currently TTG Cam now leads the way. Onto the brakes. Again, it's such a stop-start city circuit round here. Now it's the fantastic, iconic castle section up through turns 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Maybe the fastest sequence of corners on the entire F1 calendar. They come at you thick and fast, do they? Now, kick of 13 and now the kick of 14. Heading in to the very harsh braking zone into turn 15, then difficult to get the line right, probably the most difficult corner on the entire track, I'd say. Now, in a turn 16, in the last significant corner on on the entire lap. My apologies. Now just kicks in the right of 17, the left of 18, then the final right of 19, and then you're through to the line. Currently OWR Martin Bell leads the way at the top of the timesheets. Will he hold on to it to the line now? DRS open for all the drivers as we head to the end of the lap, and in the end it's going to be Martin Bell just in front of TTG Cam. Very close out there, but first blood goes to OWR. Martin Bell at the top. We'll see if he holds on to it as we'll run through the results very soon enough. That's one shot quality in the boost with the race now up ahead.
Oh yeah, that was crazy commentating, Daniel. Perfectly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was on board with OWR Martin Bell for a little bit there, and yeah, he just hit the castle section perfectly and out to the third sector, and gained a lot of time, I think.
Yeah, that castle section, very important on the lap. Let's run through it though. Martin Bell at the top, then ahead of 3 TTG drivers, Cam, Mashiro and Sage. Actually 4 as I mentioned, Florian in 5th place in the end. Isotopic comes through 6th place out of Storm, Lord Horton, Upern and Christian. Then outside the top 10, yeah, Conte, Sean, Sammy King. Oops, I didn't have time to run through the rest of the finishers. Let me just get up the stream. So I can just about round that off for you. Just stand by. Of course, I'm very much looking forward to how the race unfolds as well. But let's just run through the remainder of your results. So you had Maze there in 14th possession, and he was headed up there in 14th, about 1.8 seconds off the pace. Vax Viking, Atlas Copo, Felgen were behind, and yeah, didn't really have time to look at any of the other results. But now for the race. But here we go then. So very much looking forward to this one. And yeah, as I'm sure you are as well, looking at this one. Baku, a track that so often produces such incredible racing, very chaotic. We'll see how it all unfolds. But as for you, Rock City, what are you expecting ahead of this one, of the 25% race? Gonna be very exciting. Let's see how it all unfolds there. 25% race, I think 13 laps of hopefully non-stop action. Martin Bell at the front of the grid, but how do you think this race could possibly unfold then as we get ahead onto the formation lap now?
No, it's very hard to say because it's a very difficult track, and as you said before, a lot of overtake opportunity, especially when you're about to cross the start-finish line. But yeah, I think there's going to be like 5 or 6 drivers fighting for the top, and then I think it's going to be a little space down to the rest. It can be a lot of accidents, and yeah, you should really be focused if you're going to get through this track.
Yeah, and I certainly do not envy the drivers in the midfield especially. That's where the bulk of accidents can possibly take place. It's not so bad at the back of the field, but in the midfield often you may have nowhere to go. We will see, of course. We do have very clean drivers here tonight, and very well respected drivers, so I expect that it could well go very, very cleanly. We will see, of course. I just want to mention quickly what's happening outside of the top 10. It's a 25% race, but we are seeing most of the drivers that have free choice of tyres actually opting for the mediums and hoping to go longer into the race. Of course, tyre deg isn't insanely high around this track, I think, especially as a 25% race, but that's interesting. See how the medium runners, that was a terrible voice crack, my apologies. See how they unfolded, if they can keep up with the top 10, and the likes of Vax Viking and Beremi, see if they can fight their way through on the soft tyres and try and get themselves up towards the top 10 as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also I think the strategy inside the teams is going to be important there, because as you can see, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 TGA drivers at 1, 2, 3 and 5th place, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and you also have 15, 16, 17, 18 with OWR drivers. So yeah, it should be a shame if the teammates drive each other out in this race.
Well, I'm sure they'll be looking out for that. Then, of course, these drivers gonna have to look out for each other out there on the track and make sure that they keep themselves out of the trouble. We'll see how it all unfolds. Now, the back end of the field is lined up. A bit of a mix-up in qualifying. It's hard to see which team has actually gained an overall advantage from that. I guess we'll get a clearer picture as we head into the race, though. Martin Bell and TTG Cam, that is your front row. Which way will it be round? Heading towards turn 1. Here we go then. We're lighting up. We have 4, 5 lights. And we're away for the first round of the night here in Baku. Away goes Martin Bell for the line there and streaks away from Cam immediately. Right outside goes Mashiro. He's in the second place there. TTG going to over TTG back there as they head now into turn 2. They're looking for battles a bit further down the field. Got Isotopic battling away with Florian there. Didn't get a great start there. And the OWR driver moves. So we have Conte, I think, down there turn 2. Car in the wall there. That's Conte spending off a wing damage. And it is scattered further back down the field as well. So we have chaos on the opening lap here. As I'm trying to get back there, the graphics have unfortunately glitched out a little bit there. Martin Bell does indeed lead the way still though, in front of still a contingency of TTG drivers there. That's Mashiro, Cam and Siege running in behind, but Martin Bell got a brilliant start, now holds on to it, and we'll see now, as now the graphics look to finally start to sort themselves out. We'll see where everyone's going to emerge off the start there. We do have Martin Bell leading it, but a lot of TTG drivers in and amongst the top 6-7 positions. So we'll see how a lot of bolts, and we'll see of course who's lost out, but Conte really the big loser there, a long way off the back of the field now, definite damage as well. So Conte's got a long way to try and recover in this race.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Conte there in turn 2. I think it was. I think it was driving into Captain Chubas, and both of them spun, and Conte was hitting the wall. He has a long way up, really long way up.
Yeah, we'll see what he can try and make of that, and a long way down at the back of the field, but still has time to try and recover that there. We've got battle further down the field there. That is Sean moving through on Sappy King, getting through those kicks at the end of the lap there. Sappy King immediately back on the overtake, trying to get it back up to him, as we'll see how it all unfolds up at the front then, as again Martin Bell's actually glitched out on the graphics. They're dropping down the field, further back down the field, and we've got some team play going back there as Max Viking goes down the inside, cruises through, and almost goes for lunch on Sean. But we'll set it behind and keep back for the time being. Further back to the field through turn 2. Kiki, Bear, Remy are battling away, heading down into the second corner on the second lap. Right outside goes Kiki, pinches Bear Remy. There was a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but they just about got away with it then and held on to things up in that midfield battle down near the back of the field. But of course, points for every driver, every position counts. So here we go then. Again, the graphics will try and sort themselves out. They are about all over the place at the moment, but one thing that cannot be disputed, Martin Bell still leads the way out there, but Mashiro is hanging on in there and sticking with him. You can see that contingency of TTG drivers that I mentioned hanging with Martin Bell doing what he needs, but you sense then with these drivers all sitting in his DRS, when it does get activated on the next lap, defending that lead is going to be much more difficult for the OWR driver.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult to defend that first lead, and Mashiro is trying to hang on, but I think Martin Bell is driving real nice in the front. Further down is a little bit gap from Siege to Isotopic, and Florian is hanging on. Let's follow Florian now, trying to gain on Isotopic, but I think Isotopic is defending real well, but out on this long way down to the start finish line, and let's see Florian. No, I don't think he's gaining anything on Isotopic. Further down Christian on Lord Holton. Yeah, I think that was an easy pass.
Yeah, down the inside. Yeah, down the inside goes Christian there, running a bit wide on the exit, but I think, of course, both of the OWR drivers, they did not want to be fighting too hard there. Same on time, we got a huge battle down near the back of the field there. Major side by side with Bear Remy. Bear Remy trying to get 2 TTG drivers in one, but eventually just has to back out on the inside for the lead though. Mashiro's going through. Martin Bell must have made a mistake. He's hit the wall on the exit of turn 3 and almost runs into Cam on the exit. Martin Bell, from the lead of the race, makes the error, and now Siege down the inside of turn 5 there. Disaster for OWR as a whole. The driver that was in the leader race now drops well down the field there with wing damage. It's so easy to get here at Baku, but that's really getting hold of it, and now TTG are 1-2-3 at the front of the race.
Oof, really unlucky for Martin Bell. Yeah, he got wing damage, so we need to pit for this lap. And we can also see County and Captain Chubas. They're going for the hard compound of tires. I'm not quite sure if that's the best solution, because they're not so fast at this track, but of course they can drive all the way to the finish line with those tires.
Yeah, and you can see there what they can try and make of that, but they are going to have to try and make up some ground and avoid getting more damage there. You can see Martin Bell letting some of his teammates through, just making sure he stays well out of their way, but that's so unlucky, and it does give TTG a bit of a monopoly on the front of this race, so OWR is going to have to fight back. They can do that first, because the opener is closing down on TTG Storm. 72 lines on the inside line, up at the front, Mashiro has actually came in very early, and going into that pit lane at the end of lap 3. Upper moves through. He now runs in 5th place in front of Storm, but that's an interesting one. Mashiro coming in right at almost the beginning of this race, you could say, going pit lane. We also have behind Bear Remy and of course Martin Bell into the pit lane as well. Mashiro medium tires. We'll see how the undercut is going to change things out there. Cam now leads the way in front of Siege, and Isotopic now moves up into 3rd place. So Cam, what is he going to do, and how many of the other drivers are going to respond to that pit stop, that early stop from the race leader Mashiro, and if they're maybe going to come in on this lap and start to shake up the strategy. You could see a very busy pit lane at the end of lap 4 here.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising actually to go in so early, but yeah, the soft compound of tire is just, yeah, you just lose it really early at this track. But of course, yeah, I'm not quite sure what he was thinking, but yeah, he's a good driver, so hopefully he has a good plan for it.
Yeah, he is going to have traffic up ahead though. Sammy King is immediately in front of TTG Mashiro, side by side immediately through 7. I think there's damage for Sammy King. He had to get out of the way there. Mashiro coming through rapidly. Oh, Sammy King very close to the wall on the exit of turn 8, and he may have some other drivers as well very close to him when they come out of the pit lane. We'll see how that unfolds, but I expect that Sammy King may also be in at the end of this lap. Now let's look to the race leaders. That early pit stop from Mashiro really changing things up at the front there, and predictably I think TTG Cam is going to go to the pit lane. Siege stays out. Isotopic comes in from 3rd place. So Siege is really the only one that's left out there. Look behind, because there is a whole host of drivers bidding for that pit lane. At least 6 drivers now coming in. 2 from TTG and I believe 4 from OWR. So it is very crowded in there. We actually have problems there. I think that's Florian who's had the stack in there behind. I'm not sure exactly who that is, but he is being held up a little bit further and has lost a huge amount of track position. So Upper will come out actually quite close to Mashiro, so Mashiro losing time perhaps behind Sammy King has now put OWR a bit more into things there. They have Upper's Isotopic and Christian moving right into things. The pit stops have changed things, so we'll see how Siege and Storm fare out as well in that battle, but more and more pit stops changes the dynamic. Cam has actually jumped into significantly 4 seconds clear as he moves past Maze as well there. His teammate lets him by. Cam now has a huge net race lead at the moment. He is a long way clear, 4 seconds clear of Mashiro, and now Cam's in a position where he could just go through, not make any mistakes, just make sure he keeps it clean, and he could well be heading for the race victory, 20 and a full 30 points, but he's got to be careful then as he chases up to Atlas Kobo. He cannot afford getting damage and giving up a potential race victory here.
Really good overcut from Cam on Mashiro, so probably, yeah, Cam had a better strategy there. And you can see that Cam is just about overtaking Atlas Kopo. Atlas Kopo starting on the mediums, so 4 laps in for him. Yeah, when do you think the medium driver is going to pit?
I actually thought the medium drivers might be in not long after the soft runners, just because the tire were different. Oh, Cam goes so aggressive, switching to the inside of Atlas Kobo. They go wheel to wheel down the straight. Cam gets the move done, but there was definite contact with the rear wing of the OWR driver. We also have more pit stops there. Siege and Storm, they were in to the pit lane at the end of that last lap. We'll see where they emerge there. I'm watching Cam. I think he's got away with it. He doesn't have any major damage then. We're looking at Siege now. He comes out just in front of Mashiro. So still TTG holds a net at top 3 at the moment. So they're looking pretty strong at the front of the race at the moment, but Mashiro actually going down the inside. Sage is going to let him through. He gets squeezed out wide there. TTG going to war, it seems like, out there. They got to be careful that they do not come to blows. They do not want to be making contact with each other. And up ahead of these guys, interestingly, Maze, Atlas, Copo are still out there between themselves and Cam. So they're going to have to try and work their way through. Maze will probably be quite compliant to let Mashiro and Sage through. But Atlas Copo, as we saw earlier, he is not going to step aside. As we actually have TTG driver Storm out the session then. He's actually, is that him crashed there going there at turn 5? I've just come across his car. It says he's in the pit lane. He says he left the session, but he's parked there at turn 5, and that's TTG a driver down.
What? What happened there? Yeah, TTG Storm is out. He's parked in a dangerous location, so I don't know what happened there.
Because
yeah,
you
can see yeah, TTG drivers all over the front there. OWR Falcon is trying to hang on to KK, but yeah, he doesn't really have the pace to follow KK, and KK and Sean, yeah, and Sean just have 4 seconds now to KK. So a pretty good run from Sean so far.
Yeah, there's a comfortable lead at the front there. Further back where we have more TTG into team battles. It's ended as Maze does finally dive to the pit lane. Will be near the back of the field when he emerges. We'll look to try and recover a little bit further. So, let's have a little look at this battle that is currently still queuing up behind Mashiro, and they are beginning to get up on Atlas Copo as well now. You're seeing their Maze come through the pit lane now on these soft compound tires. Has that going for him now, and he will try and use that to as good effect as he can to come back to the field in the second half of this race. It also means they're amazing. Expect some of the other drivers such as Sean, Kiki, Felgen and Atlas Copo to also dive in, maybe this lap or the next lap. We'll see what they opt for. So in general, the pit stops very, very early as we just reached the halfway point in this race. In fact, I think there was yellows in there in sector 3. Sammy King looks like he's going off yet again at turn 16. Actually, my mistake, he's just going past that. I think that's Storm's AI car that's still driving around. So that's very odd then, because Storm, when he left the session initially, his car just stopped on the track. Usually the AI just keeps going. As I just seen 5th place, Atlas Copo actually runs into the wall at turn 14. I think he got away with that one, but he's got to be careful. He is playing with fire then. That's now Mashiro and Siege, and Upern as well. Nice Atomics with him as well. This train continues to build up then behind OWR Atlas Copo, who will surely be into the pit lane very, very shortly, I suspect, but not before. He's going to get some fights in with the TTG driver, starting off with TTG Mashiro, who gets up towards them, uses the overtake, and is going to pull towards that inside lane towards turn 1 then. Actually closes the DRS initially, now back to the inside, wheel to wheel, and a turn 1 is going to be Mashiro later on the brakes will get the move done, and he's through on Atlas Copo, and up in a 3rd place now. Siege will be next up to try and challenge Atlas Copo, who's holding these TTG drivers up as much as he can, but there's another knock on the wall coming in at turn 2. He's still got away with damage somehow, but Siege cruises through, and now Atlas Copo backs off going down the straight. He lets his teammate Upper through. He runs into 5th place now, so Atlas Copo giving up all those places, drops further down the train. He's now going to watch as Upper will try and chase down Siege, and Mashiro in that battle over 3rd place will be 2nd when Sean comes into the pit lane. Sean driving very well at the front as Florian's now gone round down there at turn 3.
Yeah, he just he just drive straight through at turn 3, and yeah, definitely Cam gain advantage from this one when Mashiro was fighting Atlas Copo, and I don't think Atlas Copo has any wing damage, but yeah, you're just letting his teammates pass him. As Uppan is close to Siege, and Siege is right behind Mashiro, so we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 TTG drivers in the front, and after that is 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 place for OWR. So yeah, been crazy driving so far, Daniel.
Yeah, it's almost as if you got 2 different formations forming up the top 10. That's very fascinating, actually, that you've just pointed out. From the race lead, though, I think your formation may well just be ended as Sean does come into the pit lane from the race lead. Where will he emerge then? He'll, of course, have fresher tyres to try and work with there. You can see Florian continuing to drop further down the field. Storm's already out the race, so TTG don't hold most of the front running positions. They also have probably most of the back marking positions, as OWR just dominate the midfield, so it's probably not going to be much in it on the points. Now, where's Sean emerged? He actually comes out in 8th place, a pretty handy position, because he has that entire train in front of him. Sean, who started this race pretty far down, I believe. I'm just checking the possessions gained if I can. He started down in 12th place, now runs in 8th and has the potential to achieve more. Kiki behind is up 11 places, start from the very back of the field. That's been a remarkable comeback drive then so far from Kiki. We'll see if he can try and move forward with that there. Of course, has much fresher tyres than those in front of him. Penalty for Sammy King. Sammy King's really not had this race go his way. I think that can be said then. That's a horrific race for the OWR driver, no doubt about that then. So, but let's keep an eye out on this battle beginning to rage in the upper midfield. Further back there, Atlas Copo did move past on Vax Viking, who does relinquish that position, moves through this Atlas Copo now as Maze in his sights. Those two are long-term rivals. We'll see how they begin to shape up in their battle. Now is the TTG top 3 about to get upset as OWR now begins to line up Siege, and he doesn't have as much overtake, but he will still charge at him. DRS now in motion. He cruises to the inside, he cruises through and eases into 3rd place. They're OWR doing everything he can to fly the flag for OWR. Now upsets the full TTG podium. He moves into 3rd, but at the moment Cam still leads Mashiro. TTG 1-2. We're now into the final 4 laps of the race as Sean now attacking Lord Holton. Round outside, this switches inside. Heading into turn 1. He'll get that move done in a turn 2 as the inside line. So one OWR driver moves up, one TTG driver moves up. It is an epic and flowing battle out there. Sean though has a good chance if he can keep those tires going. Has a run at trying to get up to Christian, and that is the topic just out in front of him on the road. Sean could really charge now on those fresh soft tires.
Yeah, so the top 10 now has really been mixed up by a lot of different moves, and Siege is trying to stay on Uppan as much as he can, as Uppan is trying to gain on Mashiro, but Mashiro and Cam is just driving away. Mashiro also have gained on Cam, so interesting for top 2 there. And also we can see now Sean is right behind OWR Christian, and after that is OWR Lord Holton and TTG AKK. So it's a little train there down to Martin Bell, up to 10th now after terrifying start for Martin Bell. Further down, yeah.
Sorry, I was just Kiki having a look at Lord Holton. I thought he was going to go for it in a turn 15. Just about held on to it though. Did Lord Holton for how much longer? Can he keep that going? Christian now is going to be under pressure surely from TTG Sean 93. Then he lines up there at TTG Academy. Have a chance of making 2 places down this back street there. First up comes Sean, pulls to the inside, DRS open and will cruise through up in a 6th place. Now Kiki trying to get up to Lord Holton, but he's got no ERS to deploy to try and get a move done. Round the outside from a long way back, surely not then. He drives clean round Lord Holton and almost spins coming over turn 1 there. Kiki from nowhere made that move stick. That was incredible, but got through and now has a run at Christian. That was incredible from Kiki, and now he has a run at Christian and TTG Academy really moving forward in the last few laps of this race.
Yeah, that was crazy overtake. Late braking from KK, and also Lord Holton was not the best exit from Lord Holton, but yeah, again, crazy overtake from KK.
Yeah, he moves through. I just want to mention quickly, TTG Storm has asked me for an invitation to the lobby. I will just quickly fulfill that request, as of course... Actually, well, I've just realised I don't actually believe he's on my friends list, so I'm not sure if I can. Hang on, let me just search though. I do apologise for this. Okay.
as KK did last time. No, stays behind. Further up, Siege is gaining on Uppan, but Uppan is trying to stay away from Siege. That's good driving from these guys. Breaking late here, Siege. Vax Viking on Maze. Oh, Vax Viking. Oh, Vax Viking is just forgetting the brakes down to turn 1.
Oh dear, I have got the invite done so I can help you along now with this there. We have just under 2 laps to go. Thanks for filling in though during that time. So we'll have a look there as Captain Chumps moves past the Conti that's at the back of the field, but still for points. Keep that in mind. So that, but of course they are on the same team, so it's probably not going to have much of a fight. Seems to be a battle for pride between those two near the back of the field. So we are closing down now on the conclusion of this opening race. Mashiro does lead the way in front of TTG Cam. OWR trying to make a challenge there. Siege trying to stay with him and maybe try and threaten that 3rd place as we head towards the last lap of the race. It's looking like the TTG drivers on the soft tires don't really have any time to make any more inroads. Sean about 5 seconds behind Isotopic, so I don't think much is really going to change. I just want to mention quickly, actually, I'm going to cut back to the front there because Siege now attacking Uppan for the podium immediately. Down the inside, he's going to go, no, just backs out of it last minute. Uppan doing everything he can to maintain that 3rd place, but coming over turn 2, is it going to stay that way? Look up from the OWR driver then. DRS for the TTG driver trying to get up to him. Uppan breaking that toe, getting out of that slipstream, but well hold on to 3rd place, heading down, and a turn 3 will just about maintain it. Now we're into the final 2/3 of the lap, heading around Baku then. Martin Beldo further back on the recovery drive, moves past Christian and moves through, and interestingly you still see OWR 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4 and 13. An incredible run in that midfield, but now we're reaching the end, and actually I'm going to come back and Martin Bell on the offences again. Lord Holden is now letting through. Martin Bell, what could have been though without that mistake? He was looking like he was cruising for victory here in this opening race, but it's not to be for OWR. Martin Bell will have to settle surely for no higher than 8th. Mashiro now leads the way, Cam going with him. Purple try and hold off Siege to the line. Mashiro still leads the way, almost loses it coming off of turn 15. You do not want to be having scares like that right at the end of a race that you've led most of the way off. So here we go then. Right to the line, TTG Mashiro leads the way. We have a penalty from Martin Bell. How much is that going to affect the final results? We'll see how penalties are going to change things. Mashiro now coming to the line. The top 4 have bunched up completely in these last few laps, but Mashiro will hang on to it on the track. Now let's see if he holds it on penalties. Yes, he does. Mashiro as your race winner. Cam in 2nd, OWR 3rd in front of Siege. Isotopic rounds at the top 5. Sean will come through and 2nd place ahead of KK there. Martin Bell will hang on for 8th place, but of course we'll lose that on the penalties, but I don't think he'll lose it to any TTG drivers, so it's not a disaster for OWR, and they will keep that formation going to the line of 8, going through 13 as Atlas Copo crosses the line. Maze, Vax Viking, Florian, Chubbs, Conte and Sammy King will round off your finishers when they eventually get round. But Bushiro for TTG wins the race. TTG holding 5 at the top 7 positions. Great day for them, but behind them OWR hold most of the midfield. And as we headed towards Spa, I wouldn't say this is over. There's still all going to be to play for as we head into the 2nd race tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, it's not over. TTG on 1 and 2. And OWR just cruising on the midfield there. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places in the midfield. So yeah, a lot of points there, but really nice driving from Mashiro and Cam. So the strategy from Mashiro did work out in the end, but it was close. It was close. As we see, Sappy King is the last driver to finish this race. Not the best race from Sappy King, we can say.
Certainly not, but he will of course try and recover with that. We still have another race ahead of us, so stay tuned for that. Mashiro though is your race winner in a first race where TTG did dominate most of the front running positions. We'll see if they're going to keep that going there. Kiki awarded driver of the day by the game then, and he will at least carry that award with him heading through. So that's going to be it for race 1, but we still have one more one-shot qualifying and one more 25% race to treat you all to, so do not go anywhere. It should still be very thrilling and very exciting to watch. This race was pretty fun, but of course Spa, such an iconic track, will come up afterwards, and you can expect, in fact you can rely on that to be a great race. So that's it for our first race then, and I am going to leave it to you, Mr. Rock City, to take us through the results of our first race.
Yeah, I can do that. So we have Mashiro first place, then we have Cam and OWR Uppan. Siege on 4, 5th place goes to Isotopic, 6th place Sean, 7th KK, 8 to Lord Holton, 9 Christian, 10 Martin Bell, 11 Barremi, 12 Felgen, 13 Atlascopo, 14 Mace, 15 Vax Viking, 16 Florian, 17 Captain Chubus, 18 County, 19 Seven King, and unfortunately Storm at the last position.
Yeah, of course, Storm was very unlucky with his connection issues through that race. So that is it. I feel like I'm saying so a bunch of times, but we still have another race to look forward to at Spa. I'm not sure if we're going to find out what the standings will be after that race. Unfortunately, my maths isn't good enough to be able to do it during a commentary, so we may have to just have to hold back. Yep, go on.
Yeah, I can try to sum up some of the points. Maybe I can get a look at how the standing is.
Okay. If you can do that, that'd be absolutely grand. But the drivers are already beginning to get ready for this race. They're readying up in the lobby, so we will see how it all unfolds. Spa is such a different track to Baku, though. It's Baku is a very tight, sort of 90-degree heavy street circuit. Spa is an open, flowing, circuit in the middle of a forest. So it's a completely different environment, setting, and a completely different track. And that means as well, the drivers you see at the front may well change, because it's such a different driving style that's able to, that needs to be employed to be able to do well here. So expect this race and just the nature of it to be far, far different here at Spa.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry, absolutely. Spa is a different track, completely different track, and I think we will see that the time difference between most of the racers will be a lot bigger than we did see at Baku. Definitely.
Yes, Spa is, of course, by lap time and by distance, the longest track on the F1 calendar. So yeah, you may expect to see a little bit of a more spread out field. Hopefully that's not the case. I'd love to see a tight field in qualifying. And yeah, of course, ahead of the race then, that sets them up for a great race, having a tight qualifying session. We are now getting ready for the one-shot quality. Of course, there is so much riding on it there. As the name implies, only one shot to make your lap count, so these drivers are going to have to be on their absolute A-game around, well, at a very iconic track in Spa, but certainly one not for the faint-hearted. So we will see who is going to grab pole position. I do believe that there are points available for getting pole position in this championship, so it is definitely important, and we will see how it all unfolds there. Let's go aboard with OWR Barremi to get things started then, heading in to the first corner then. Atlasaurus take the car on the inside, running out on the exit yet again. Power out now, heading down towards and then up over the rise through the fantastic Rouge and Radion complex there. You line it up and punch out on the exit, then you're on to the Camel Straight. You open up, your DRS, and you get up to astonishingly high speeds there of over 330 kilometers an hour. Now braking into Lake Om. Take fourth gear and try and use as much of the curb, as much of the track as you can as you punch through on the exit then, and charge forward. Now into a barge then. Bit of an understeer corner then, and tough to fight for traction on exit. They're really difficult, but Beremy looks just fine and currently sits in third place. You head through the corner with no name. Now heading into the magnificent Purod corner then. Almost flat out on the entry, just a left on the entry, and now on the exit. Now heading into Lefania. Now getting as close to the curb on the inside as you can, but don't go too hard on it. You may well just about spin the car around. Beremy holding it together as now you head into Savalo. And now it is an incredibly long full throttle zone all around this circuit. Beremy at the moment, who we're tracking, currently 6 seconds. Mashiro does lead the way, and he is looking very strong once again to maybe continue to move forward after that great showing you had at Baku through the easily flat launch. You wanted in immediately onto the brakes, heading in to the bus stop chicane there. Open up on the exit, then try and punch off the corner as best you can there, and we'll see where it all's going to shape up there. But Mashiro and Sage is going to be your 1-2 in a surprisingly tight qualifying grid, it must be said. 1:42 flat is the pole time though for Mashiro. He and Sage were out at the front row, but the OWR drivers, Martin Bell and the likes, very, very close. So that's going to round it up then, and that is going to round off your qualifying session here at Spa. That's your rundown of one of the greatest circuits on the calendar, and I'll leave it to you, Mr. Rock City, to run us through the results.
Thank you. So, pole, TTG Mashiro, great driving from him. Second, Siege. Third, Martin Bell. Fourth, Isotopic. Fifth, Baremi. Sixth, KK. 7, Sean. Atlas Copod. 8, 9, Storm. 10, Uppan. 11, Falgen. 12, Christian. 13, Vax Viking. Sapmi King, better from him. 14th place. TTGA Mace on 15. 16, Lord Holton. 17, 18, County. 19, Cam. And Captain Tubes at the last position. That was the grid.
Interestingly enough, all the drivers that invalidated on their laps were actually TTG drivers.
Yeah,
so
that.
that is going to... you may laugh at that, but that could really actually work against them if they cannot recover in this race, having those drivers at the back of the field. Of course, I do expect that TTG Academy are leading, but probably not by very much after the first round. So OWR, probably with a slightly stronger qualifying, have a chance of maybe pulling it back. And we will see, of course, because pole here isn't a very powerful pole position, actually, because the slipstream heading up Rouge Radion and then down the Cable Straight is so enormous. Starting on pole position, it's never a guarantee that you're going to maintain it heading through the first sector of the lap here.
No, of course, and also the midfield. The midfield is going to fight for the positions, and we can have a lot of accidents. So hopefully we don't. So we get a clean race and a good race, I hope.
That is certainly what we all hope for. So here we go then. Our second and final race of the event and of the evening. I do hope as Lord Holton immediately disqualified for the formation lap. I'm not exactly sure what's happened there. If you maybe reversed off the line or something, because I don't know how you can possibly get disqualified that quickly. That's very odd, but Lord Holton will not be able to get a lap in there to start things off, and it means that he's going to start on cold tyres, which heading through that first sector could really hold you back there. So Lord Holton, especially on the medium tyres, could really be on the back foot at the start of the race.
Yeah, sorry, out for a second there. Okay, so only 4 drivers on the medium compound tires. That's interesting. Yeah, probably they want to just try to gain the most of positions in the beginning. But yeah, what happened with Lord Holt, I don't know. It was weird, really weird. But yeah, I think the first lap here is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, the first lap may not be quite as chaotic as Baku, but it's always very action-packed. There's no doubt about that. The first sector of Spa is probably one of the most iconic race starts of the entire season. One of the most, well, on any F1 season, and probably one of the most iconic moments of any season on the calendar. It's just such a spectacle that I can't wait to see all unfold. As I'm just going to come to you quickly, Mr. Rock City, because I'm just going to have a quick drink. What's your prediction ahead of this race, and which driver and which team do you think is going to come out on top here?
I think it's going to be real close. Mashiro is going to take his second win for this event, because I think his driving is really strong. I also think Martin Bell is really angry with himself after the first race at Baku, so I think Martin Bell is going to take second, and then I think Top is going to take third, and then Siege on 4. So I think it's going to be really close on the points for the teams.
We will see. We'll have a look at that then. Certainly my predictions ahead of races are usually quite rubbish, so I hope for better fortunes on your end. We will see how that all unfolds now as the rear of the grid begins to line up then ahead of our second race of the evening. Mashiro and Siege, your front row. We'll see if it holds out as we head now to the lights beginning to come on. We've had one race so far at Baku, as I'm not sure why we're still sitting on the grid. I do hope that's not some sort of connection issues that's kind of taken hold of us, because we are still sitting here, and I have seen this lobby issue in the past, so I'm not sure if we are actually going to be able to get going here. I do very much hope so, but it's not looking good at the moment.
No, it's not. Maybe the problem is with Lord Holton, who has a problem with the formation lap. So hopefully we get to start. Otherwise we have to do a restart, I think.
Yeah, that is certainly not what any of us want.
No.
We'll see, of course, as it actually was Storm that was holding us back. Now we can get to racing, though. Thanks for Storm for leaving. We have 5 lights. And we are away for the second race here at Spa. Who's going to lead it? Heading into turn 1 there. Mashiro will hold the inside line in front then of Siege, who lines up the outside line, and they almost come together, the two TTG drivers. We have yellow flags there, because I think that may well still be the car on the grid that we mentioned there, as the Storm is now actually disqualified. They're sitting on the grid. But we will look now towards the front of the field as Mashiro leads them down the Campbell Straight, heading for the Lake Home chicane. Look at the OWR drivers, they're battling away in the background, and that is actually given an opportunity, because right as he goes Key trying to grab a position in front, but runs wide though. That was actually Sean. My mistakes in the graphics kind of confusing me on that end there. But Bear Remy's battling away, will get in front of TTG, storming up in the 5th place now. So OWR 1, 3, 4, 5. TTG though run 1 and 2 still. They maintained their advantage off the start. Worked together, coordinated it brilliantly, and were able to maintain that lead. And we will say there, because although TTG do have that 1-2 position, OWR to dominate most of the rest of the top 12. Out of the top 12, they have 8 out of those 12 drivers. There's Sammy King now out the race.
Oof, Sammy King.
Maze as well.
Mace as well, yes. Maybe they have gone into each other.
Yeah, they may have just come into contact with one another. We still have yellow flags. I believe the safety car is off. As Conti's now out, is that coming out, going on to the run towards Blodgewon? You can see that there, completely out by the side of the track. We have 4 cars out on the opening lap. We only have 1 car out in the entirety of the Baku race. That's unexpected. We still have those yellows. The car's still out there on track. They will probably get cleared. But what a crazy immense start. Cano into the pit lane. What absolute mayhem we were treated to on the opening lap. Chaos here at Spa. So we have Felgen battling away with Atlas Cobra. We'll get the move done, moving through as Captain Chubbs as well moved through on Lord Holton, who has to drop back there. So mayhem here at Spa, and now after all that, what team comes out on top here is really anyone's guess.
Yeah, completely chaos back in the field. I'm not quite sure what happened, but 4 cars out, 3 cars from TTGA, and 1 car from OWR. Advantage for OWR, but again, we have 2 TTG drivers at the front. So crazy first lap. It was clean in the start, I think, but yeah, down to the end sector 2, it was just crazy.
Yeah, we're looking there. Interestingly enough, I've been keeping half an eye on the stream chat. May's saying "wow" in the chat after what happened to him on the opening lap. Of course, for them, up the field though, we have Chubs moving through on OWR. We'll get up and to the top 10 now, moving through then up into 10th place. So we'll see what he can do there and try and fly the flag for TTG. So since they are now down 3 drivers in this race, they've got an awful lot of work to do to try and make up for it. They do have 4 out of the top 7 drivers, so they can try and use that to propel themselves forward against OWR. We are now at the end of lap 2, 11 laps of course, in this race. And the Belgium circuit in the Ardennes Forest here at Spa-Francorchamps. We now have Cam picking up a penalty after an early pit stop as well. Another blow for TTG and Florian as well getting a penalty. Now these guys really suffering there. Florian's actually battling away with Lord Holton, who's down the inside heading into Lasaurus and tries to stop it on the exit. Will just about stay in front of TTG. Florian and loses out then. He drops down into that 14th place. Lord Holton up at a 13th there. Captain Chubbs is on the attack again though, as he lines up Atlas Kobo to the outside, heading for Lake Home, wheel to wheel level, heading into the braking zone, but Captain Chubbs will do it on the brakes on the medium tyres. He's done a superb start in a race that hasn't gone TTG's way so far. He's doing all he can. You mentioned drivers trying to make ground on the medium tyres, but Chubbs is doing just that. He started, just going to verify this, he started from last on the ground and now runs 9th. What an incredible start for Captain Chubbs. Now there's a clear run at Falcon and Kiki up ahead as well. What a start.
Yeah, perfect start from Captain Chubbs. He also got a 3-second penalty there. But yeah, crazy start from Captain Chubbs. He's just flying away on those mediums. 11 places so far and he is not done. I can tell you that. He is driving really fast.
He's certainly not done. Look at that Falcon now, right in front there and almost poised to maybe lose out there. As we now more yellows, Florian's now out. What on earth has happened? It's Lord Holden's into the wall as well. Going through, he stays in the race, but he's lost his front wing. I'm trying to see the impact that's coming out of Stavalo, I think there. I'm watching for Cam as I'm actually looking as now we have Martin Bell and Beremi. They pit very early on lap 3. And they are now going to try and make an undercut work then, and maybe gain advantage over the top 2 TTG drivers who still lead the way out there in this Belgian Grand Prix. So we still have yellows there. Cars need to be cleared then. What disaster. TTG are now down 4 drivers in this race. They have 5 out of the top 7, so they are making as much as they can at the front of the field, but they do dominate the back of the field as well. They have much to try and recover there. Felgen now is getting up to the back of Kiki and almost lighting up the inside lane into Lake Home, but will hold back for that one. Does not want to get too over ambitious. Thinks better of that one for the moment. So this is really, really fascinating now. This race has been turned on its head. We have now TTG dominating the front of the field, and yet again OWR dominating the midfield. We'll see how that translates in the points, but with 4 TTG drivers out now, the point standings could well be very, very close here.
It could really be close. I think the TTG driver is now just flying away to get as much point as they can. But yeah, we saw 3 drivers pitting early, so trying for undercut here. Maybe we can see now Mashiro and Siege is going into the pit after this lap. But yeah, Captain Chubbs up to 7th now, and he's not done his own Falgen. And he's really trying to get past Falgen, but Falgen is defending very well, but he's getting.
Coming down through Blanchimon, and now Captain Chubbs laning up. That 6th place, is he going to go for a bus stop chicane? No, he just backs out of it. Isotopic is now into the pit lane, and he will give up possession there, and behind him Kiki as well. They're the first of the main TTG drivers up at the front of the race to pit, and we have more yellows. That's Vax Viking who's going off, and now down into 15th place, and it's really not been a good day for him or Lord Holton. Up and alongside, almost comes Chubb now. He's now into the top 5. What a start this has been. He does have a penalty but he's making the most of it he can possibly do. Now, coming up, going through Orujan Radion, and now Captain Chubbs leading up the move on OWR. Phil again then, getting up towards him there, towards the inside line. He is running out of BRS and overtake, but he still claims the inside. And delay Cobb chicane, and he will get up into 4th place now. Another move for Captain Chubbs. He's a little way off the race leaders at the front, but he is making superb inroads in this race now. Up to out of the cars that are pitted. Isotopic has moved through on Martin Bell, and they seem to have coordinated that, so they are playing the team game. OWR, Martin Bell gets a penalty, but OWR trying to coordinate this and use that undercut. Isotopic and Martin Bell are trying to jump out in front of Mashiro and Siege up in the race lead at the moment.
Yeah, but very closely now, Captain Chubb is actually going to lead this race. That's crazy, starting from the last position on the grid and now up to 4th place. It's been a perfect run from Captain Chubb so far. As we can see, Atlas Copo and Uppan is trying to gain on KK. Also, Lord Holt and Vax Viking is gone over to the soft compound of tires, but they are, way down the field. So it's been mixed up really now. We can see that the KK is splitting for OWR drivers from the midfield. But driver of the day so far, Captain Chubbs. Oh, he's going into the pit.
Oh wow, that's extremely early. I was not expecting that. He's only put 5 laps on those tyres, which must mean he has faith in the softs going a longer way. Tyre deck isn't high at this track, so I can see why he's doing that. We'll see if it pays off. Now, Mashiro went pit lane. Where will he emerge then? Isotopic, it is close, but Mashiro has done enough, I think, and will maintain the race lead in front of Isotopic and in front of Martin Bell in 5th and 6th at the moment there. So Mashiro's done what he needs to do, and he's driving a superb race at the moment. He's driving a superb evening so far. Upern as well, moving past Felgen there. They both came to the pit lane, and now Upern moving through, trying to get up to the back of Captain Chubbs and Neurons on the soft tyres. What can he do with those at the final stages of this race? Now what I'm going to say is Mashiro did hold the race lead, but he lost ground to Isotopic and Martin Bell. Siege was under more pressure from those guys, and I think that when he goes to the pit lane, he could well be behind them as he comes out. And it means now that Siege and Sean as well for TTG are going to have to really try and work their way through ahead of some of the OWR drivers who still hold that lower end of that top 5 there. So Isotopic and Martin Bell, they can try and keep up with Mashiro, but I think as well they're going to be on the defensive from Siege and Sean trying to get up to him in the final laps of the race.
Yeah, it should be really interesting, and also now I think Isotopic and Martin Bell has to work together to try to gain as much as they can on Sean and Siege, because they really worked out the undercut, and it should be interesting seeing now Siege and Sean is going into the pit where they come out. Also, I think Christian is going to go into the pit now, hopefully for him. Yeah, he does. So Mashiro now up to the race lead, but where come Siege and Sean out? Should be interesting.
Yeah, the fresh tyres are now on for Siege at the front there. Mashiro is going to jump in front of them by some distance, and it does mean, I think, that Siege may leak a lot of time. He does have the shorter run heading through turn 1, but it's not going to be enough to get in front of either OWR driver, so things just got really interesting. And that's battle up at the front. TTG Siege is going to have to try and get through, and as you mentioned, I think that team dynamic is going to be really intriguing for OWR, see if they can try and pull that off. Captain Chubbs as well continues to fly. Now has Sean in his sights. Look at the closing speed he has there. Captain Chubbs down the inside of Lake Cobb. He's made a pit stop in this race. He started last on the grid. Now runs in the top 5 and is within sight of a podium. He's not even that far off the race leaders. Captain Chubbs, if he can use those tyres well, may well be on for a top 3 finish here. Remarkable.
Yeah, perfect run from Captain Chubbs so far. He's just flying. This probably is his favorite track, I think, because he's driving really fast now, and he is trying to close on Siege now, as Vax Viking is setting the fastest lap so far. But yeah, Martin Bell and Isotopic, really good strategy from those guys, and Sean and KK now Sean was the unluckiest one because he is now behind Chubbs, but Siege is trying to gain on Martin Bell, but 1.5 seconds so far, so it doesn't look so good for Siege at the moment.
Yeah, he has actually lost a bit of time on this lap to the OWR drivers there. Further back down the field, another blow for TTG as Cam is going off again, coming out of Stavilo, and he does have wing damage as well, so he'll probably lose out to Lord Holton at least. So that's more points for OWR to take forward there, and more points that's being lost out by TTG Academy. But Chubbs is trying to rescue that then, as he has got the battle for P2 even in his sights now. Sage is going to maybe try and go with him. He doesn't seem to have the pace to really stay with the OWR drivers at the moment. Isotopic is driving brilliantly, and Martin Bell is going with him. They can't quite level with the Machiro at the moment, but they are doing enough to hold back the onslaught of TTG drivers. Sage, Captain Chubbs, Sean, and Gigi in that formation to try and get up to him there. Cab does go through the pit lane, lose out to Lord Holton. He won't lose out to Vax Viking though. He's had a horrible race down there in 15th place, but at the moment looks like he will finish at least and get some points on the board. So we are now into the final 4 laps here at Spa, at the final race of this event. It's hopefully been a lot of fun for the drivers. Captain Chubb, another penalty though, and this could be what's really holding him back. He's driving a superb race in general, but these penalties now, 6 seconds he has to his name, could really cost him, because I don't think most of the front runners have penalties themselves. So Captain Chubbs is flying, but he's going to need to put a lot of distance between himself and the cars behind if he wants to make those positions stick. The field is still so close from first down to 12th. There isn't much in it. Atlas Kobo now with a penalty in 11th place, but he won't lose out to any drivers at the moment that are of TTG, so it's not too bad for OWR at least. But yeah, Chubbs on the charge, but with those penalties as well, could really lose out at the end. So if these drivers around him could just keep it clean, Chubbs will lose out then, and it means that some of the drivers like Siege, Sean could benefit from that, and maybe they can try and ignite their challenges. Siege, is revitalised because he is now starting to catch back up and rein in the two OWR drivers in 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, he's getting his pace up now, Siege, and yeah, Captain Chubbs, I think he's driving so fast that he can slow down a little bit and don't get so much penalty, but he's just pushing all to the bottom. And now you can see that TTG has 5 drivers in the top 7th place, and OWR is, yeah, all the other places except from Cam, who was unlucky and spawned. But yeah, should be really interesting at the end to see the final score of the points. But Mashiro, he's just, yeah, he's been excellent these 2 races here, and he's just flying away.
Mashiro has been in imperious form tonight. Then we have 2.5 laps to go between himself and a double race victory, and another penalty for Chubbs. That's 9 seconds now, and I can hear you tutting in the background and disapproval as he's going to drop, I think, a lot of the positions that he's gained. But back on Mashiro, what a sequence of races he has put together. Leads by 1.8 seconds with a lot of ERS. Well, he's in full control, and Isotopic cannot get anywhere near him at the moment there. Mashiro has not put a foot wrong all evening and continues to move away. He has about 2 laps to go now. He keeps this going. It's a double race victory and full 30-point hauls that could really tip the scales. I think that if TTG end up winning this event, it's down to Mashiro's just absolutely unrelenting dominance up at the front.
Yeah, he's been brilliant these 2 races, so if TTG wins, they can thank Mashiro, I think, because he is driving really fast. But again, I think Sean, KK, Chubbs and Siege is driving real good at the moment. Unfortunately for Chubbs, he is having a lot of penalties, but now we are seeing Chubbs on Siege. He's going to go for it, open his DRS, and yeah, easy move. Just flying past Siege there.
Up in a 4th place. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
No. Continue, Daniel. Continue.
So Chubbs does move through in front of Siege. What I think he's going to do now is maybe try, because he does have more pace on the softs than those around him, he may try and drag Siege up towards that OWR battle where he can maybe try and make an impression on the final lap of this race. So keep an eye out then and see how that all unfolds then. We are reaching the climax of the evening. I hope you guys have all enjoyed watching this. I hope the drivers all had fun driving in this, because of course it is a competitive event, but the most important thing is that these drivers and us as commentators and you guys as fans have a good time with the show that these guys have put on. We now have just over 1 lap between ourselves and the conclusion of this event. So Mashiro, though, has driven superbly, as we've alluded to already. He is now chasing down a double race victory and maybe leading TTG Academy to victory. We will top the points, of course, when it's all said and done. But TTG with 5 drivers inside the top 7, I think, have a really good chance of maybe just seeing it through. Still, though, the 2 OWR drivers are hanging on in that front fight there. Penalty again for Lord Holton. May lose out to TTG Cam. That could maybe flip some of the points there. Look at this battle for P2 though. Martin Bell has closed right up an isotopic, and maybe OWR can have a bit of a civil war here. So here we go then. Coming up, Radion. And now Martin Bell lanes at the inside line as isotopic does not fight it. He knows it's not worth fighting. Through goes Martin Bell up in a second place on the final lap there. He's redeemed himself from a disastrous race last time out at Baku, a race that he very much could have won. He now has a much stronger position, running in second and chasing down Mashiro to the line. It will be Mashiro, though, does lead the way. We have half a lap to go and what has been a great night of racing, and as I mentioned, I hope you all enjoyed it there. We are nearing the end, Rock City, and how do you think everything's going to end up there, and who do you think is going to come out on top at the end of this sequence of events, the closing off of this race at Spa?
Yeah, it's been a brilliant race here at Spa, but I just remember now my predictions before the race. So I think my prediction was Mashiro, Martin Bell, Isotopic and Siege at 4th place. So if Chubbs has a lot of penalty, my prediction is going to go 100% in. So that's gonna be crazy, but yeah, brilliant race from Mashiro here at Spa. And also I think the TTG drivers had done really well, except from, of course, losing 4 drivers early in the race. So yeah, really interesting how it all ends at the end.
Speaking of endings, here we go. TTG Mashiro comes up to the line and wins the second race of the evening then. Comes through, and Martin Bell does actually lose out possessions in the end. So Siege does get 3rd place in front of Martin Bell. Now we see the last of the finishers. So over the line then. Kiki 5th. Captain Chubb 6th there. Bear Remy gets up to 7th in the end. Just pipping short 1,000th of a second. Separating those two in the end. Apparent Pilgin, Christian, Atlas Copo round at the top 12. Behind them, Laura Tolton, Cam, Vax Viking, who is a long way off the back coming through Ravage, who may have to wait a little while. I think he's going for fastest lap at the end to round things off, and he's just put on a fresh set of tyres. 3-stop strategy. That is it then for the real significant portion of the racing here tonight. And at the end, actually, Captain Chubbs has fastest lap, so maybe Vax Viking could deny a little bit of a point for those guys. We'll keep posted on that. Mashiro, though, a double victory. That is the deal. He does win the day, and we'll see what team is going to come out on top as well once those points are totted up. As yeah, we still have a decent amount of guys in the stream. We hope you're all enjoying it. Please feel free to interact at the end of it. So that is going to be it then. Once Vax Viking does come through, then he's actually 2/10 down on his lap, so it may not be a fastest lap for the OWR driver. He's giving it everything, but he might just run out of time. Heading round now to the line, powers out of the bus stop chicane. He's used all the overtake he can, and I'm not sure if he did get the fastest lap in the end. He may have, he may not have, I'm not entirely sure, but that is going to be the end of it there. Mashiro double victory and wins the day. Captain Chubbs does get driver of the day, and yeah, that you have to deny, even with the penalties, he drove a superb race to get back up into that lead fight.
Yeah, just superb from Captain Chubbs. 14 places he gained at these races, and also, of course, if it hadn't been for the penalty, he would be, yeah, at 4th place, I think, maybe 3rd, because Martin Bell got a penalty. So yeah, it should be really interesting seeing how the points can affect the result. Now, I'm not quite sure who is going to count the points, but hopefully we will get them soon, so everyone can know who's the victorious on this event.
Yeah, we'll get those answers soon enough. Mashiro, though, does win 2 races. He actually had a penalty. So if Martin Bell had kept it clean, he would have actually won that race. Wow. But running through there, Alex Topic does end up second, Siege in third, Martin Bell, Kiki, Captain Chubbs round out the top 6 there within 10 seconds of the race win. Beremi does end up 7th ahead of Sean, Upern and Felgen rounding out the top 10. For the back there we have Christian, Atlas Copo, Lord Holton, Cam and Vax Viking round out the finishers of that race. And then behind that there, Florian, Conte, Maze, Sammy King and Storm just round out our grid. Of course, a bit of a dramatic first lap we had. Of course we lost a lot of drivers that maybe took something away from the spectacle, but we still had a very solid night of racing that I very much hope that you've all enjoyed. We will get the standings through soon enough. Keep an eye out on League Racing TV Twitter account. They'll probably be the ones that are going to update on that. The not League Racing TV account. No, the TTG account will probably will probably provide that too. So keep an eye out, and you can see who will come out on top in this event. Rock City, that was a great night of racing, and I hope you've enjoyed as well covering this alongside me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was superb racing from everyone, I think. Unlucky for some of the guys, but I think they really enjoyed racing, and I think this event is perfect because you get to see one of the best drivers, and yeah, just superb event, and I'm lucky to covering it.
Same here, and of course this is the first time we've ever commentated together. One of the first times we've spoke, actually. I think the only time we've actually spoke is doing interviews for TTML Division 5. So it's rather fitting, and I'm glad to have shared the box with you tonight, and I hope we do have the opportunity to do this more in the future. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Your commentating is perfect. My English isn't so good, so I cannot speak as fast as you. But I think we did a good job, and it was yeah. I'm just honored to commentate alongside with you.
Thank you very much, Dan, man. That's very touching. But we're going to. I think there's not much left to say, so we're just going to wrap things up then. So. As we've alluded to several times, we hope you've all enjoyed this. Hope all the drivers have enjoyed as well racing in it. And most of all, thank you to both of those groups of people for providing this stream for us as well as us, of course. Thank you, us. We're great. But
thank you and good night, everybody.
Yeah, so without much more to say, I'm a QVR attacker. He has been OWR Rock City. And until next time, we'll see you later.